All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy Monday, January 26th, coming to you live, coming to you well, coming to you very well rested and super excited. We had our intensity meeting this morning at 6 a.m. I was super inspired by everything that was covered in that meeting. So we're going to go full tilt today, but we do have an abbreviated session today. I have a meeting that I have to attend, and so I'm going to cut this a little bit short, but if you guys want to hang tight today and communicate amongst each other, but we're going to get right into the content for the day. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being on. Thank you for being present. And I'm going to give you back 30 minutes of your morning. If you're cool with that, let's run. Let's get this thing going. So Brianna, since you're middle of my screen, since you always have words of wisdom, things to say, I'm going to have you, my friend, bring us out on the field on this beautiful Monday morning. So go ahead and set the tone for Keep It Moving. Let's go, my friend.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am part of Intensity, so I've been up on Zoom since 6 o'clock in the morning. And if you didn't know, you should know today in Stockton, we're doing content from 12 to 2. So if you didn't know, you should be now dropping what you're doing, getting ready, and shooting over to Stockton today. And besides that, I'm just feeling super energized and ready to go. So let's get this Monday started. And there's no better way than with Keep It Moving group coaching.
Let's go, Brianna. Hey, that's the new commercial. I appreciate you. We're going to get you on just like the girl for Dr. Pepper. We're going to do a little jingle, and get you some royalties for the Keep It Moving jingle. So I appreciate that. So you guys, I too have been up super early, but I'm just stoked. I'm stoked that we get another day to be together, another day to share our thoughts, insights, pour into the power of the collective wisdom. And so Mondays are always inspiring to me because it's an opportunity for us to reset and set some clear intentions for the week. And so I'm going to go to two people to share with me a personal win, professional win from this last week. I'm going to have you guys kick us off. I'm going to go over to Mara. Mara, you're going to be first, and then second you will be Brandy since you are no longer driving. So Mara, personal win, professional win, and then Brandy, you are on deck. Let's roll.
Personal win would be that I'm still chugging along with the intensity program. I'm not a quitter. I'll never quit. So it's just not in my DNA. Once I start something, I always finish it. So that is my personal win. My professional win is I got my listing client to agree to a new roof. Yay! It'll make it a lot easier to sell the house. So I'm really excited about that. She's an older lady and just, I don't have the money. I don't want to spend the money. I don't have the money. The house is as is. And so I finally got through to her that you have an old roof. It's leaky. I need to be able to market this to all the different loans. And we're going to have a hard time if we, are knowing that there is a leaky roof. It's going to, we're going to have a tough time getting those buyers. So that was my win.
Let's go, Mara. That just shows your ability to influence, right? Like we can all say these things, but is the client going to listen to us, and do we have enough influence for them to take heed to what we're actually providing, the advice that we're actually providing? So love that for you, Mara. Let's go over to Brandy. Brandy, personal win, professional. And by the way, Mara, I love that the personal win was your ability to stick it out through intensity. I love that that was a personal win. So good stuff. Let's go, Brandy. What do you have for us, my friend?
So I'd have to say my personal and business win have been combined. So last week, I got my dad into contract. And
after 2 years?
It has been... my dad has been looking since before I was even licensed. My dad has been looking probably for the last 10 years. No joke.
No joke. Pops.
So yeah, this just means so much for me as a daughter, for me as a family member, and then for me as a businesswoman to know somebody like my dad. The message I got, I almost screenshot it and sent it to you, Elias, but it was I literally thanked my dad for trusting me through the process. And his response was how proud he was of me and that how scary it is to know how much I do know and the fact that I'm only going to get better. And coming from my dad, who has witnessed, obviously, my dad, all sorts of seasons of my life. And I can imagine being in his place and watching my child go through things that I couldn't help them with. And then now being in my newest season of life, my dad has been like my hero kind of thing. My dad has came in, doesn't have the greatest health and has came in to pick up and be somebody my kids need. He, in all aspects, that kind of, he always felt like he wasn't the best father, and I don't feel that way, but he has definitely have made that difference in being a grandpa and being, he's like, I just want to be better. So whatever I wasn't good at as being a dad, I want to fill that with being a grandpa. And I'm like, Dad, no, you were an amazing dad. And me and my dad definitely butt heads. So it wasn't like we had the best relationship. Like me and my dad, I'm probably one of the only siblings. Me and my dad like really go head to head because I'm very similar to him. But yeah, so to be able to have him trust me and walk him through that process, it challenged us in a business and personal. It was very challenging. I had to set some very clear boundaries that helped me in my business knowing, you know what, this is also a client and this is how I can move forward with my clients. And just like, I don't know, the confidence, like my dad has given me so much to be able to do this for him and really advocate for my dad. And the ways that he has advocated for me, it's just amazing. And I'm like, this is a highlight of a career. If I didn't do anything for real estate, this moment was it. But like my dad said, it's only going to get better from here. So
let's go. You see, I never know when I call on people for personal wins, professional wins. And I'm so glad that I chose Mara and Brandy, but I got to stop for a second. I mean, cheerleader, if you got something to say, I see you over there with all of your movements and clapping. Go ahead.
Of course. I mean, this one I watched her do, and I always tell her like, girl, you got this, cheerleader, of course. But watching her really be like, I got this, because let me tell you, she negotiated the chit out of these deals, the chit out of them, because she got him in a contract 2 houses, 2, not 1, 2. He ended up not wanting the first one. So she negotiated the shit out of 2 deals for her dad.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations to you guys. I appreciate you sharing. I wanted to talk to you. I had a coaching session last week, and I just wanted to talk to you about really closing the loops. I want to make sure that we are all holding each other accountable, similar to what we do in intensity. But even if you're not in intensity, I want to make sure that there's a level of accountability. And it's not for me, it's accountability for yourself and being able to self-manage. So I was talking to an agent the other day, and we really started to create some framework on his calendar. And his calendar went like this. And this is just some food for thought for you guys. He's going to drop his newsletter every single week. He's going to drop 3 videos every single week. He's going to spend 3 hours in a CRM prospecting, clearing tasks, and following up with any active leads, which we've been talking about, responding to consumer behavior. Another thing that he's going to do, he's going to spend 1 hour of AI every single week, just learning new tools, and then 1 hour of implementing whatever he's learning from that. Going into, reading 30 minutes a day, so 3 hours a week. And this is the structure. Well, prior to this calendar, he didn't have a structure. He's done really, really good selling multi-million-dollar homes with no calendar. He graduated from USC. He used to play football for USC. He knows that community. He's very entrenched in that community. So a lot of the things just come to him because of his relationships that he's built over the years, and rightfully so. But now we're working on his calendar and we're working on a structure. So when you think about your calendar, it is Monday morning. My hope is that you're not wondering what you're going to do this week. My hope and my intention is that you're not meandering, right? That you're not going to meander through the week wondering what you're going to do and try to stumble upon something that's going to actually move the needle in your business. And so I want to make sure that you guys have a calendar. And people say, oh, I'm not a calendar person. No. You are human. And if you don't have it on your calendar, you're going to forget things. I'm human. I forget things, right? If it's not on my calendar, it's not going to happen. And it happens all the time. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to think about the highest and best use of your time, the H button. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to look at your calendar. and say, okay, are those things reflected on my calendars? And then I want you guys to look at your ambitions. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to do this. And then look at your calendar and compare. What's on your calendar? Does that compare to what your ambitions are? And if not, then go to work and plan. Right? I want you guys to have this time on your calendar so things feel fluid, things feel structured. And what I want you to also do is leave some space for your flex time. That flex time means that if Tanisha went and showed homes today and it took a little bit longer, but she was supposed to prospect at 1 to 2, but the clients had so many questions, it took her off of that schedule. Well, then she has some flex time on Tuesday, some flex time on Thursday, where she just moves that prospecting time to another time in the week. And so she doesn't miss it. So I want us to be very intentional, especially on a Monday, knowing exactly how we're going to use our time, effort, and energy as we begin the week. Make sense, everybody? All right, cool. So let's do this. I have some questions for you guys. I want you to take a screenshot, take a picture, or just remember it. But nonetheless, I'm going to put some stuff on the screen. All right, guys. So let's go right into this. So first and foremost, we are building intention. So intentional weeks build intentional lives. We don't drift here, we decide. So let's move the needle together. You see, I have a responsibility. My responsibility is to impact your growth. Well, if things are not landing for you here, we're not moving the needle, we're not closing the gaps, we're not getting you closer and closer to an escrow, well, then I feel like I'm losing you. I feel like I'm not doing my job. And so I want to make sure that we move with intention. If you can just say, all right, I'm going to take the one thing from coaching and I'm going to apply that. And that means that 3 times a week, if you're coming to coaching, that is 12 sessions for the month. I promise you, if you implemented 12 things in your life, business, health, and relationships every single month, things would progress. I promise you, it's just inevitable, right? The numbers are in your favor. And so when you close the screen, when you turn off your phone, and when you're done with our sessions, I want you to say, well, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? Your mornings are important. There's other things that you guys can be doing, but you choose to be here with me and you choose to be here with the group. And I'm inspired by that and I'm encouraged by that and I'm stoked about that. But you have to ask yourself, what am I actually doing with the content that I receive in these sessions? Now, some of you are model citizens and some of you are still struggling with the implementation. Remember what we've been saying. We said this last week. I said this earlier this morning, that we execute regardless. Right? Execute regardless. No matter what, just say, I'm going to do that one thing today. I'm going to write down what's going to move the needle this week, and I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to execute regardless of my mood, how I feel, where I'm at, regardless. So let's go right into some of this framework. So move the needle coaching questions for this Monday. First and foremost, I want you guys to do a pipeline review, and we are going to always talk about pipeline review and go into the board. The pipeline review is very, very simple. What is in your pipeline right now for GCI? How many people are you showing homes to? And if that's a number that you could get on the mic right now and spit some fire and spit some game, like, I got a really, really healthy pipeline. I've met with X amount of clients in the last 26 days. I'm showing 5 people homes and they're all looking at homes at $5 million or $1 million each. Wonderful. You have $5 million in volume in your pipeline right now. So this is a really, really good place for you to be. So if you did 5 million times 2.5%, that means right now you have $125,000 in GCI in your pipeline. That's solid. That's strong. Now, obviously, I just took some simple math, but I want you to look at your pipeline. It's the 26th. How many appointments have you actually met? How many people are you showing homes to? How many buyer representation agreements do you have? How many listings do you have coming soon? To give yourself a very good idea of what your pipeline looks like. Now, if your pipeline is not full yet, but my friends, you guys have all of this activity. You're stacking the activities. You're making the calls. You're creating the social. You're knocking the doors. And it's just a moment of time. Cool. Give yourself all the grace. But if you don't have the pipeline, you don't have a review that you're confident of, and it's not backed up by the activities, and we pulled that veil back, what is going to be revealed in your business? What is going to be revealed in your business? So I want you guys to feel confident and be proud to walk into any room, grab the mic and be like, I'm so glad that you asked. Let me share with you what's in my pipeline and what I've been doing behind the scenes to generate opportunities. Does that make sense, you guys? Give me a yes, give me an emoji, give me a reaction, give me something. Every single week, we're going to go to the motherfucking board. You guys are going to be clear on what is in your pipeline. You guys are going to be clear on what is going to move the needle in your business every single week. So first off, we start with your pipeline review. Go to the board. No excuses, no stories, no distractions, no bullshit, just the numbers that are going to move your needle forward this week. What was the main struggle you faced this past week? And when you ask yourself that question, just be real. And did you meet it with honesty and effort, or did you avoid it? Right? The main struggle was actually knocking on doors, hosting the open house, getting myself on camera, whatever it was, right? Did you meet it and say, you know what, I'm going to meet this with honesty, I'm going to meet this with fear, I'm going to meet this with effort, or did I avoid that? And I try to get busy doing other things to mask the things that I was not doing. So I want you to ask yourself that question. What was the main struggle you faced this past week? And did you meet it with honesty and effort, or did you avoid it? Part 2. What are you committed to? No mood, no motivation required. What are you committed to this week? Elias, I'm committed to 5 conversations this week. Elias, I'm committed to 20 calls every single day. And when I said you're doing your 20 calls last week, who can tell me what that formula was? It wasn't just 20 calls when you're doing your hour of power. What was the formula? You guys remember that? I said it to you on Friday. It wasn't about just making 20 calls. What was the formula? Go ahead, TT. What is it? Take yourself off of mute.
It was 1 email, 1 text, 1 video call.
Yeah, call, text, email, video, call, text, email, video. That's the cadence. So when you go back to the board and you say, Elias, I'm going to the board right now, and this is what I'm committed to doing. Forget about my mood. I don't need any motivation. I'm going to do 20 calls every single day. But that 20 calls is actually 80 touch points every single day. And if you stack that for the end of the week, you guys, you are putting yourself in a great position to just do what? Have conversations. And when you have conversations, you should be skilled enough to take that information from a conversation and say, you know what? I feel that there's an opportunity where I can help you. Let's do this next. Here's what we do next, and set an appointment. But if you're not having those conversations because you don't have enough touch points, then you're not going to be able to close at a high level. So what are you committed to? Not mood, not motivation required. No motivation required, excuse me. What are the top 3 priorities today that actually move your business forward? Not busy work, just trajectory in your work. Is today the day that you started off and you're going to send videos, calls, texts, emails, and videos to every single person that you met at your open houses? You're going to go into your database. You're going to clear everything out. All of your open house leads are tagged 123 Main Street. And they're going to have notes in the system of where you met them, what you talked about, the video that you sent, so on and so forth. What are the top priorities today that actually move your business forward? Not busy work, but just trajectory. And stay with me. What absolutely must be done today for you to feel proud when your head hits the pillow tonight? What needs to happen? You see, I want you guys to go to rest tonight, go to bed tonight, and say, you know what? I'm really, really happy with what I did today. I feel accomplished. I feel like I moved the needle. I feel like I closed all my tasks. I called all my open house leads. I dropped a video. I dropped a couple videos. I went to the office. I shot content with Patrick and Elias. I did something that made me feel super, super good about the state of my business. So these are the questions that I want you guys to reflect on. And what I want you to do is I want you guys just to go to the board. I want you to have a very, very clear understanding of what's going to move the needle in your business. What I don't want these sessions to be is I don't want there to be hearings, meaning that you come in and you listen. Like, I want you guys to be able to take the information and say, you know what, I'm committed to this. And then I want you guys to stack those wins every single week. When we go to the board, you guys should have week in and week out of you going to the board. Okay, this week I said 20 by 80 touch points, 5 reels, X amount of this. And then next week, when we ask you guys to share a personal win, professional win, Elias, last week when we said went to the board, I hit everything that was on my board. Damn, cool. What were the results? I got this, I got this, I got this. Wonderful. Stoked for you. Right? Because we have to think about this and we have to analyze the cost of inaction, right? If you're on this call right now and you do not have an appointment set for the next 72 hours, that should be firing you up. If you do not have an escrow right now, you should be fired up. That should not be okay. And so everything is centered around intentionality. And so what I want you guys to do today, since I'm going to give you a shorter session today, I want you guys to go to the board. I want you guys to do this exercise. And then for the people that truly want to take this to the next level, I'm going to encourage you to do this. Text me your numbers. Just text me your numbers. Yo, Elias, this is my go to the board exercise. This is what I'm committed to doing this week. Hold me accountable. And on a scale from 1 to 10, what is the level of accountability that you want from me? Is it the fire, or is it just little baby accountability? Tell me what you need from me to best support you as a coach. So that's what I have for you guys. I'm going to pause for a quick second, but I need everybody's commitment that you guys will go to the board. I'm going to give you back 30 minutes of your morning, but do I have the commitment from each of you that you're going to go to the board? Take yourselves off of mute. Say yes. Give me a heck yes.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
All that. So I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to go over to, where is she? Kia, give me a key thought and key takeaway. And listen, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this over to Tanisha. Okay. And if you guys, I know Tanisha, hold on. Tanisha, I'm going to pass that over to you. I'm going to make you host. Now, I'm going to pass it over to Tanisha. If you guys would like to stay and share your go to the board, have a conversation around this, rally around something cool, throw some ideas out there, set some accountability measures, you guys do that on your own. Okay. If you want to leave, you guys can leave at 9 o'clock. But if you'd like to stay back, you guys can stay back. I gave TT the share screen rights. So TT, no pressure. But, but Kia, tell me a key thought and key takeaway from our time together thus far.
Oh man. Okay, you guys, it's Monday. We got to go hard. Everybody got to get on the board by Friday.
At least with activity, correct?
At least with activity. That's my key takeaway.
Okay. For somebody that Dorian just put in the chat down below, what is the board? Let's go here. Mara, what is the board? The metaphor of going to the board. What is that, Mara? Dorian came on just a couple minutes late. What is that, Mara?
The metaphor for going to the board is looking through your pipeline and seeing what you've got working through right now as far as leads, generating leads, creating meetings, just getting that momentum going. Go to the board.
That's right. Here's I'm going to write it out for you, Dorian, and everyone else. You're just going to go to a piece of paper and you're going to write a box. Okay. Only thing that fits in that box is your numbers. Okay. The calls, the texts, the emails, the videos, the things that you're going to do this week that are income producing that actually move the needle forward. What does not fit in this box are excuses, your drama, and I'm not shooting any shots at you, Dorian. The bullshit, distractions, nothing else fits in there. But what's going to move the needle in your business this week? Make sense? Good. If you guys want to chill, hang out with TT. She's an amazing person. You guys can. Otis is here. Other leaders, Blessing and Mara and all the other faces, Damian, like usual suspects here. Feel free to hang tight, you guys. I'm going to duck out a little bit early, but if you want to stay here and really create your concrete plan, and then I'm going to encourage you guys, send me a text message. Send me a text message with what you have and give me a scale from 1 to 10. Where you'd like to land on accountability for this week and what I can do to best support you. Sound good? TT, the show is yours, my friend. This was impromptu, but if you want to stay, stay. If not, you guys can duck out. My friend, the stage is yours. Don't fuck it up.
Thank you so much for the stage. I'm going to go ahead and admit Julia. If anybody wants to chat, usually Mara and I meet up and we talk about our board every Monday after Keep It Moving. I'd love to hear some, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call out people too. How about that? I'm going to go with Laura, Miss Laura Franco. You were in our intensity meeting this morning and you almost made us all cry. So tell us your board for this week, Laura.
Oh my God, you put me on the spot, girl.
Liked the spot. You said
I
it
know.
pushes you, so that's why I called you.
Yeah, I'm still.
Please inspire everyone else. We all need the inspiration.
God, I'm still reeling from early this morning. I mean, it was just a lot. But no, well,
today I have a buyer's consultation. So I am working on especially more social media content. And with me being a baker for over 20 years and being in hospitalities, I'm going to be incorporating that also with my real estate. So I'm going to be really getting on it, especially since we are in intensity. I'm going to be really pushing it for more.
So how are you pushing it? How many videos? How many reels? How many stories?
Well, I know, what is it? We are supposed to be doing like 10 stories a day, which, I'll be consistent with that. But with reels, I'm going to be pushing reels like every single day, including in the weekend. So 7 reels, more informational content of what's happening in the market to get more people more engaged, and also trying to get more hooks into those reels too, to get more people into the conversations. So I'm really looking into, possibly doing like 7 reels instead of the normal 3, updating all my, my follow-up boss, doing the 4-in-1 I did a showing this weekend too, getting in touch with them to show videos and things like that. So my numbers are going to be higher than expectations.
I have a challenge for you. I have a challenge for you. So I go to the market meetings, which is the market meeting for my area, which is Union City, Fremont. And, they provide breakfast. Mm-hmm. One gentleman brought these yummy cookies and stole the show. So I challenge you to either go to your market meeting or the content day in Stockton, and bring some yummy cookies, and everyone will fall in love with you.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Right. Thank you so much, Laura. Who is next? Ross, I see you're on a bike. Share what you're doing this week, please. You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm on my phone, so it's a little hard to find that sometimes. I'm going to go to one of the Cece. She's in our intensity group. She's doing like a meeting, and I'm just going to go to support that. And then I'm going to the content day at the Oakland office tomorrow. And just everything that we're doing in intensity, 10 home tours, 3 or 2 home tour reels, and yeah.
What is your name? I think share everyone your name in the real estate world.
Oh, I'm Wolfman Realty.
So please share with everyone else how you are branding yourself, because I think it's amazing. I love your picture and what you're doing. And how did the coffee and coffee open house go?
Yeah.
Please share, because I think it inspires us.
Yeah, so I did coffee before I got into real estate, and so I have a coffee cart, and since I got back into it, I wasn't really able to do any coffee, so I've been itching to kind of figure out something, and I'm really into like the Eichler homes, so I feel like it kind of complements. They complemented that, and I talked to the listing agent, and he was down. So yeah, there was probably like over 30 people that showed up. Blessing showed up. Shout out to Blessing.
That's fabulous. And tell us how you branded yourself as the Wolfman Realtor.
The Wolfman. So,
why?
So I was just I've been fucking around with the whole AI thing for a minute, but I thought it would be really funny to like do like a retro realtor type thing. And so, yeah, I did the like retro 80s realtor with like a mullet or whatever, and I got them on my business cards. And like everyone I give the business card to, they like crack up and they think it's hilarious. But a good friend of mine, when I gave her the business card, she was like, "This should say Ross the Wolfman." And so I kind of like didn't really think anything of it at first, but then I was like, I'm gonna lean into that because she's pretty successful. She owns like 3 restaurants in San Francisco, and she's really good at branding, and she has good style. So
I absolutely love it. It caught my attention, and I love how you're sending the reels to all of our inboxes. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah. No, that's like, we have Gary was talking about he's going to set up a fast like IG engagement group. I think that's a great idea because it kind of puts your stuff into your circle or your team, and everyone can kind of chime in and build you up. So I think that's a great idea. And that's just like one more thing where you're just like kind of going through your people and just like, shit, just send it to everyone. And if something sticks with someone and they can share and repost it, like it only takes a few minutes to send it out.
I agree. That's definitely helping us all in intensity. So thank you, Ross, for sharing.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Thank you everyone for staying on the call. I'm going to call out a few more people to share some information. Dorian, what are you doing to go to the board? And thank you for being here and being in intensity this morning at 6 a.m.
No problem. Thanks. So this week, my biggest thing was I'm working on my 30-day checklist as part of Team Fast. And so really getting on board with that and make sure I'm getting everything taken care of and learning like the foundation so I can be able to leverage, the tools and resources that we have to be able to be a better agent because it's all kind of brand new for me as well. So stepping into that, and then also in line with we learn from intensity is just like getting my post up on a weekly basis on IG because I'm not really a big social media person. So that's been a new challenge for me, is getting into that and making sure I'm posting on a regular basis just to kind of brand myself and get the information out there. So, and then also coming up with a really good routine for myself. So I've been scheduling out a lot of things on my calendar a lot more, and continuing with that to make sure I'm meeting all my deadlines and goals for the week.
So what are your specific numbers? How many reels are you going to do this week?
So reels this week, I'm going to get 5 in for the week, and then still do the 10 stories for the day, each day. And then I want to get another 10 carousels in for this week as well.
Nice. What about appointments this week?
Appointments, my goal is to get at least 3.
Okay.
So brand new to all this. So I'm still kind of learning the ropes, but my goal is to get 3 this in this week.
It's fabulous that you're putting yourself out there. Believe it or not, I'm pretty new as well. So this intensity is really bringing us out of our comfort zone. And I guess Elias putting me out here on the spot is bringing me out of my comfort zone as well.
Awesome.
Ross, you have your hands up. Thank you, Dorian. I really appreciate your contribution.
I was just curious what everyone's like open house follow-up is. Like, are you putting your stuff in the system like that, like right after you close up? Is it like something you do later that night? Yeah, I'm just curious.
Does anyone want to answer this question? Harry is here to assist.
I mean, I'm just some things that I've learned to do only because we did the open house for many months up at Blackhawk. So it's easier to develop a system. What we normally did, or what I did, what we do after open house, anyone that signs the paper, anyone we had a conversation with, right? Really, right when I'm meeting the person, if I have a conversation, I'll write some notes on my phone. Just write some notes on my phone right away. And then after the open house, I usually send everyone a video and be like, hey, Tanisha, nice meeting you today up at Blackhawk, at the Eagle Ridge. Man, it was exciting to hear about your family. I keep it real personal. I don't take it to the business, like right there. It's all personal, and I remind them that I listen to them talking to them. And then we pack up. I do that at the house before we leave. And then we pack up, go back, and myself, then the very next, if it's another open house, I don't put it in right away. But that Monday morning, or if I only had a Saturday one, that Sunday morning, the very next morning is when I open up my CRM and I put it in there. Really, I put it into Real Scout. So I start in Real Scout, which adds it to my follow-up boss. Mm-hmm. So Add it that next morning to my Real Scout. Remember the parameters that you talked about, so you don't just send them some random ass stuff on Real Scout where they're like, dude, did you even listen to me? Right? Like, so you kind of want to be on that. And then as well as the, now it's in your follow-up boss. So at that moment, I try to give them a call that day and let them know I added them to my private email that's going to send them houses that they told me they like. Any house they like, put a thumbs up. They don't like, thumbs down, or don't do anything. And I have an opportunity to see it on the back end, so they don't even have to let me know. I will stay on top of them. So I use that just the beginning cadence, and then I start watching. Just like Elias says, they start looking at stuff. I hit them and say, man, I'm setting up appointments for Thursday and Friday. Which day do you want to go look at this house? And they have to tell me, Gary, I don't want to look at that house. I don't want to go on Thursday. Or they're going to have to ghost me. And I'm cool with either one, because I'm going to call them back.
Thank you, Carrie. Yes, I agree with all of that. I'm going to the board this week in reference to my open house activity. I actually purposely chose an open house that's around the corner from my house, so I can print up I'm planning to do 100 flyers so I can get to know my neighbors and step out of my own comfort zone, because it's unfortunate that a listing came up right in my neighborhood, and I said, oh my God, these people don't know that I'm a realtor. So I'm going to use my open house. I hate that. So I'm motivated this week. I'm actually going to go to the office by Wednesday, print up all my flyers, and walk the neighborhood by Wednesday, and another opportunity an hour prior to the open house. And just like what Gary said, it's important that you kind of send the message immediately so you're fresh in their brain and listen to what the people are telling you. Because people want to be heard just like we do, right? And people like to talk, so let them talk. So on that note, Otis, and then Kavita right after Otis.
Just wanted to touch up on the open house afterwards, what to do, Ross, for you and everybody on the call. I like to do implementing Dub. We have Dub. You can do that. You can send a video message just to say, hey, Ross, I was thinking about you. We had such a great connection when you came in the house. You asked me a bunch of questions. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I sent over the disclosure package just in case you guys liked it enough just to further the conversation. Love to set some time with you to go over this house or any other houses in any other neighborhoods you're looking for. Just wanted to make sure you didn't miss me and I missed you. So hopefully I can engage this conversation sometime this week. We can set up a buyer's appointment. A buyer's representation agreement, touring agreement. So the next time we do see each other, you already know what that is. Just kind of like move the needle forward, because you never know. So many people tell you, oh, no, it's okay. I don't like this house. But then you see them, looking again. Specifically, if you put them in Real Scout, that's a big thing, because if you don't have a partnership with Zillow, like I do, so when people do come in, somehow they don't come through the Zillow, they come to the open house. That's a good way to put them in Real Scout right away, because it's just like Zillow. I'm able to see what homes they like, if they like them, which homes they don't like. And then Real Scout gives you the opportunity, to do home evaluations. If it's a seller, it's a buyer and seller. So it's a good program to put them in there to just keep touching base. And then T, with you too, saying, set that expectation, Gary, as well, is go door knock. So this past weekend at my open house, I had about 10 of the neighbors come through. 2 of them were somewhat interested, trying to get people into the home. That's an actual real thing. People do want to have their family members come live next to them and stuff like that. So it's always good to invite them. Plus, they're going to be your biggest supporters. Me and Marissa did so well, and Diana came by to support us as well, too. We had about 3 or 4 guests stay for about an hour afterwards, just talking to us. And at the end of the conversation is, man, we really like you guys. If anybody comes up, we're going to definitely shoot them your way. So don't ever discount the person that's not trying to buy the house, because they can still buy a house from you, but not just literally them, somebody they know, somebody in their sphere of influence. So always implement that right away. Don't waste on it, because like Elias said earlier in the call, we're all human. We all forget. So, especially if you have a busy 20, 30 groups, you're going to miss 1 or 2, maybe a couple of more, potential buyers. So it's always good to do it right away. Even if it's a 2-day, put them in there. That way you don't have to worry about hitting 20 people if you did 10 people each day. Those are just small little things.
Cool.
I agree. Thank you so much, Otis. I agree, especially with the neighbors
Yeah.
too. When you have more bodies in your open house, it looks fabulous. And when you're just chit-chatting with everyone, they want to kind of understand what's going on and who's, when neighbors come in, I said, you want to pick who's going to live here, right? I always tell them that. So go find me a buyer. Vita, please share.
Hey, yeah, I had the question how to move the needle after the open house, like getting into buyer consultation. I think pretty much Otis has answered. But that's where I need some, help from the team, like understanding, how to make that conversation to get them, do the buyer consultation.
Does anybody want to help out, Vita, with how to get the buyer consultation? H-bomb, blessing? Please, there.
Mute.
H-bomb,
There
you go.
Yeah. I'm trying to get myself off mute on my phone while I'm walking. Yeah. So, anyways, good morning. I just had to stay on because I feel like I haven't seen any of you. I haven't really been in intensity much. And so, hi. The best way to engage is to ask questions to them, get some answers, get some information. And then, how long have you been looking? What is it about this house that you like? Is there any questions that you have about this house? Then get them to open up. And not everybody is going to engage, but to get them talking, to get the information, and then kind of get yourself in there. Why, I have this house over here. I have this house over here. I don't know if this one's a good fit for you, but I know a couple more in the neighborhood. I would love to show you. What does your schedule look like this week? Or first time buyer. Just for me, it's just getting them talking, and then that engagement, and then I feel like it either goes or they want to know more from you, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not saying that every pitch is a hit, but that's my advice there for that particular question.
Yeah,
thank you. Do you have something else to add too? Because I noticed you had your hand up earlier.
Me?
Yeah, you.
About the pipeline thing. I just didn't want to talk too much. Right now, with my pipeline, I am just plugging away with intensity, trying to meet all my metrics. I've got some business in the pipeline, which is good. I'd like more. Right now, as far as pipeline review, I'm realizing that my SOI is great. Zillow, I've got SOI. Man, I need more pipelines. So I'm really trying to dig deep, do some research, and find out how I can create more pipelines. So I have, when this one is dry, I have this pipeline that feeds me, and so on and so forth. So that's where I'm at with my pipeline review, because my sphere is great. They feed me, but it's not always the case. So whether it's looking into probates, whether it's getting this education course that we have for empty nesters and scams, really trying to focus on getting that off so I can really start to build my SOI more, because so that's kind of my pipeline review, and I'm just doing my my intensity stuff, which is a challenge in and of itself, as you know.
Yes, I agree. Building the pipeline. And Kavita, just a little bit of open house feedback. I think what I've learned is to talk to people as if they're your friend instead of a business opportunity, because people really just want to kind of chit chat. So when I'm not, I'm still trying to figure things out also. But I notice I get better feedback when I'm just like, hey, how are you? Where are you from? How long have you been living here? Oh, I see you have a kid. What's your daughter's name? Or just, what are you looking for? What brings you to this open house? Or give me the honest feedback. I'm not the owner. You can tell me everything. Just really kind of taking the professionalism out of it. Because real estate is relationship based, and you need to be approachable, and people want to work with you because they like you. Mm-hmm. And people buy homes or just make decisions because they like you. It's not necessarily the home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I seen you have your arm up, your hand up. Please share.
I do.
We love it when you talk. I love hearing from you.
Oh my goodness, you're doing such a great job. I only cut my camera. I'm on the Delta Road, so I don't want to get lost. Kavita, you've asked this question about the buyer consult now twice. So I wanted to ask, have you gone through and done your own buyer's consult as far as doing you're comfortable with your flow?
No, I have not done the buyer consultation.
I would recommend, I would encourage you highly to role play that enough times where you understand what that is, because the obstacle of scheduling and taking someone from the open house into buyer consult is you've got to understand what the purpose is and why that next step and why it's important for them to meet with you. And until we as realtors understand that why it's the next step, it's always going to feel uncomfortable. So while you are at the open house, you know, you're engaging, you're having the conversation, you know, you need to book the appointment for the consultation. But in the meantime, or the preparation time leading up to there, I would run through the fast buyer consult package, understand, you know, each of the different components so that you understand why they need to come, why they need to meet with you, why they need that foundation with you, because it will inform everything they do going forward. And so once you do that, you'll have a different confidence when it comes to saying, okay, you're at this house, you're ready to look for new homes. What I do with every single one of my clients is we have a consultation, a strategy session, so that you're fully prepared for what's coming next. And we're on the same basis. That way, all of your questions are answered and we can move through the process with confidence. If you say it like that, you're going to get less resistance as far as booking for the appointment. Does that make sense?
I think, yeah. Thank you, Blessing, for that. But my question more is towards after that initial conversation, right? How to ask them for the buyer consultation is my question, not afterwards. Like how to just initially have that, like, you know, like, okay, are you interested? All those things are there. I have that conversation. And then, like, you know, how to get them signed. That's where.
You don't ask them.
You don't ask. And
Okay.
you're saying that you're meeting them at the open house and getting them to schedule for the consultation. That's where the question is.
Yeah, the question is like, how do I, like, you know, take that conversation to the next level after the open house, had the conversation, I talked to them, I reached out via the message, and the next step is signing the document, right? How do I get them signed? I just send them over an email and tell them to sign. They may not be ready, right?
No,
That's where I'm.
Yes, you're one step ahead. So the next thing once you meet them is to get them to book for the consultation. In that consultation, and it's not an ask, it is the next step. There's no question about it. We don't go to our doctor and negotiate with how they want to proceed. For us, the next step is scheduling that appointment. And in that appointment, you show them all the reasons why they need to work with you. You give them so much value so that in the end, when you say, are you ready to work with me? And they say, yes, great. I'm going to send you over my buyer representation agreement. Here's my commission percentage. I do my best to get the seller to pay for that. But now you and I are in a working relationship where all of these things we just discussed, now I'm doing for you. Do you have any questions? And it's usually a no. And that's how you send the document over. You've got to show them your value. And that comes from the consultation.
And I want to add to this Keep It Moving sessions with Elias is very helpful because last week he talked about how we're the ones that need to guide our clients. We're the ones leading them. So Kavita, I think what you really need to do is work on your confidence because you're giving the instruction. You're not asking. They came to you for your professional guidance. And so you need to give the guidance. So it's more like when you're chit-chatting with them, the next step is the buyer consultation. What time works best for you? You pull out your phone. I have Monday. I have Wednesday at 9:30. I have 12 noon. Which one works for you? So you're looking at your phone and you're giving them the guidance. Like Blessing said, you don't ask the doctor, right? The doctor is telling you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can ask, but yeah, the more is like, it's like they have to accept that meeting also, right? Like that is.
Yeah, but you're telling them because they hired you to make their dream of home ownership a reality.
Yeah, they did not hire yet, actually, right? They didn't hire yet. it's just the initial conversation we had right at the open house.
Right, but that's what you're telling yourself. You have to have confidence. And they hired me to get this job done. But if you're saying, oh, I don't know, is it okay? They're going to feel that type of energy and they're not going to be confident with your guidance. Otis wants to add something. Yeah.
Can I take a crack? I think what she's trying to ask is, when is it like after like that initial thing? Like we're already pushing her past that. So I would say, Kavita, is letting them know what's the difference between an open house and going out and doing a private tour. Then that's when you can kind of bridge into what a BBA or BBRC, whatever you guys would like to prefer to call it. Even when I do it, everybody's fixated on sending a BBRC. I've noticed when you send those 13 pages, it freaks people out because that looks way more like a contract than the EXP version, which is just a 1 or 2 sheet. So you got to tell them, hey, Kavita, do you know the difference between an open house and a private tour? And you're going to say, no. Well, the difference is you come to an open house, you see an agent like me who's a buyer's agent who's looking to get buyers for this seller. But here you just have to sign your name and an email or phone number because it helps the it helps the seller's agent and it helps the seller know who's coming into the house in case there's anything that happens. Also, it gets them the opportunity to see how much traffic that comes in here. Do you feel comfortable coming to open houses? Is there any houses that you like that are in your database that you have that you might want to let me go take you out to? Oh, you do. Okay, so this is a good point where I can bring up what a BBA is. It's a simple touring agreement that explains who I am, how much I get paid, and the duration for how long I'm going to represent you. So I get a lot of people that come in an open house, meet me for the first time, and I partner with a whole bunch of online lead companies, which I totally don't feel it's fair for me to push this up on you. But, Kavita, it is a rule. I can get in trouble. I can lose my license if I take you on a private tour and you do not sign this agreement. Now, I want to give you a big plus is the seller usually always pays a buyer's agent. For the last year and a half that this law has been implemented, I've only been through 1 in 30 deals where the seller didn't compensate the buyer's agent, which who I am, representing you, a buyer's agent, right? So in that case, that's when I would say, hey, Kavita, the 3% contract that you did sign that we went over that I put out there to you that the seller was going to pay me, I'm only representing you for 30 days. And the biggest thing, Kavita, is you can fire me at any time you feel like I'm not bringing you what you need. A lot of my cohorts and a lot of my colleagues won't tell you that. I want to be transparent because I want to earn your trust. Now, have I kind of broken down what the difference is between an open house and a private tour? This is why we do those things. And this is why we have to go through it beforehand, because I would hate for you to come all the way to Concord when you live in San Francisco and you weren't properly informed about this agreement from me, or you just didn't want to sign it. But I'm going to have to tell you, Kavita, I really do love you. I really want to be the agent that's going to bring you to your home, but I cannot open this door if you don't sign. Now, lastly, if you don't feel that I'm executed this good enough for you to understand to sign for 30 days, to sign for 14 days, to sign for 7 days, what I'll do is I'll sign it for just this house. So at the end of the day, Kavita, it only lasts for this house. So if we don't have a good vibe, if you don't like anything that I'm saying, or even if you did have an agent and you were lying to me, it only lasts for today. So that's what you should be doing. And then that should lead into you wanting to, obviously, like Tamisha said, you need to get practice on that, because that's our Willy Wonka. That's our golden ticket. That makes sure that you get paid and you're not running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I see so many agents do that. And please, any new agent on this thing, do not get yourself in trouble. Do not open up the door for that person. Your money is definitely needed, but it's not worth your license, because you're going to make thousands upon dollars. So don't mess it up for that person. I don't care if it's a family member or your best friend.
Thank you, Otis. Thank you, Kavita. Were your questions answered?
Yeah, I think that's helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, do you feel more confident?
Yeah.
And Blessing had added in the chat, it would be a very good idea for you to get on Elias's calendar to role play, maybe find an accountability partner and role play. That's what I did a lot, because it helps you get more confident with just kind of guiding. Or, again, just reminding yourself that you're hired to guide these people. Even if you don't have an official contract yet, you're going to give them a consultation so you can get that contract.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Anybody else want to add anything? We're right at 9:30. All right. You guys have a fabulous day. I know I'm not Elias, but what does he say?
You want me to close it for you?
You did an amazing job, T. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good, Tanisha. That was so good.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you,
Tia, please
Tanisha. You
close
did
us
awesome.
out. Thank
All right,
you.
so you guys, in the words of Elias, keep your dreams dreaming and keep your moves moving. Until next time, peace.